let's go. Wow. Is that a cop?
SUV maybe?
No, that's just a regular SUV. Dang, that kind of fooled me for a sec. Woo! Woo! Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a 2018 Audi RS5 Coupe on our channel, but this is not a regular RS5. This is actually a Stage 2 tuned. Stage 2 RS5, so it's a very special, unique coupe. And we're going to drive it today and check it out. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, please introduce yourself.
I'm Vernon. I'm Sinister RS5 on Instagram, and I'm Sinister V
check him out
on YouTube.
Okay, I will attach all his information in the right-hand corner, so go give him a follow. He's got a lot of cool content. Well, let's get her started up. Wow. Okay, let's go take a look outside. That exhaust sounds super mean. And I love these rims. I think these are very tasteful. I love the bronze. What a clean ride. Let's check out the trunk, and then we'll also check out the engine. Okay, so let's check out the trunk.
Spacious.
Okay. Very nice. You can definitely put a few suitcases in there.
Yes. Very deep.
Yep. All right. Let's check out the engine bay. All right. Up right there. I think I got it. There we go. So tell us what you have done to the car in terms of mods.
Okay, so I got the 034 Stage 2 ECU tune and Stage 2 TCU tune. On top of that, we have the beautiful padded 034 Motorsports downpipes. This is Unitronic full carbon fiber intake with the carbon fiber inlets to feed more air to the turbos. You can't really see it, but this hose here goes down to the Wagner intercooling kit. Got that. And I have my E85 fuel analyzer. See this prep for E85. It also has a high pressure fuel pump piston upgrade in it. In addition to the downpipes, I have the AWE chlorine non-res cat magnet exhaust. And that kind of wraps it up for like the performance level.
Have you done anything to the suspension? Anything to the brakes?
Yes. Brakes are stock. Suspension is the ABT Haas kit. It's similar to the KW Haas kit, but the ABT has a stiffer spring rate. Also have 034 motor mounts, subframe mounts, rear diff mount, trans mount, rear sway bar, and rear sway bar inlets.
Okay, well, let's go take her for a drive. See how she drives. Here's the handle, by the way, so give a follow. Alrighty, so getting into this cabin. The first thing I noticed is that here, everything is really nicely styled up, I would say, compared to a regular RS5. We have this beautiful Alcantara everywhere. I've never seen a steering wheel like this before. Personally, I've never driven one that looks like this. It actually feels amazing in my hand.
The contour is really nice.
The contour is nice. You can see the RPMs here, you know, red lights. So we'll see what that does. We got carbon style paddle shifters. The boost gauge, I assume that is?
Yes.
The boost gauge. And here we have, you know, the regular Audi infotainment system. I see that was the self-park. 360-degree camera. So we can go through different modes. Check out whichever view. And I personally prefer the older infotainment versus the new one, because here you can also use the physical dial to navigate and, you know, go through all your settings, unlike the new one. We have the dual zone climate, and we will start out in comfort mode just for the purpose so we can see how the dynamic mode changes the car's behavior and the drive. We also got heated seats. Does this have the heated steering wheel or no? No heated steering wheel. Okay.
Yeah, that's an option to take away with the flat bottom.
Okay. We also have a really cute shade here that you can see a little bit of the sky, but it's not fully enclosed, so you can see like a little bit once you close it through the top. A nice black headliner. I like the mirror here, it's very stylish.
Yeah, the frameless.
The frameless mirror, yeah, I think it's very stylish. Okay, we also have the adjustable armrest here, and also that is the glove box. Yes. Yep. Okay, sweet, awesome. Okay, well, here we have our virtual cockpit. Let's get started. Okay, so tell us what made you buy an RS5, and why an RS5?
I'm a big Audi fan. I've been an Audi fan since my first Audi. But what really turned me on to Audis was my love for Mitsubishis, and I had a Mitsubishi Eclipse, and Fast and Furious came out, and I thought I was Fast and Furious. What got me on Audi was I watched the movie Ronin, and there's an S4 in that movie, and I actually happened to have a yellow S4 running across me when I had my my Eclipse GST, and we did a little pull on the highway, and he spanked me. And I was like, what is in that Audi? So I said, well, you know what, natural progression. I'm going to go from the GST Eclipse Turbo to a Mitsubishi Evolution when the Evos first came out. I did not like how Mitsubishi treated me, even though I was a young kid. I made decent money, and I was trying to go get the car, and I couldn't test drive it. They were looking at me like I was a joke, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go down the street. And I found a used S4, and that used S4 changed my life. That was a 2001 B5 S4. Been Audi ever since. Now, my RS5 progression is because at one point I thought I wanted one, but when Audi announced, when they dropped this B9 series, that they weren't gonna put the V8 in it, I was very distraught. At the time that this came out, I actually had a B7 RS4. So, you know, high revving V8, sounded phenomenal. I skipped on this car and decided to go with an S6. I need another V8 in my life. Had the V8, went stage 3, APR, full bolt-ons. That thing it just ripped.
That must have been a fast car.
Very fast car.
I can only imagine stage 3 on that engine is, even stock is fast, and you know, you're talking stage 3, that's crazy power output.
Still the fastest car I've owned to date until the moment comes where I stage 3 this, and then that'll be different. But what really led me to the RS5 was last year, I had a little S3 that I was just trying to ride around, and I was trying to make some moves to jump into a different car, and wind up buying a house instead. Okay. And I said, well, you know, I'll give the S3 to my girlfriend, and then we'll figure out what my next move is. Yeah. I really want to get into entry-level supercar range, so I really want an R8 to start off with. But I said, look, when we get into the house, we'll figure things out. Well, while waiting for the home to be built, somebody T-bones me, and my S3 is gone. She was totaled. So I was on this binge of, what do I buy? What do I buy? And I said, well, the one car I said I didn't want because it didn't have a V8 is also the one car I did not test drive, but I knew I wanted to be back into an RS. And I didn't want an RS3. Too many people have them. I know the inline 5 is a phenomenal, the whole car is a phenomenal power plant, but I think it could have some more niceties on the inside of it. I went and test drove this, and I think it was the end game for me. One thing I noticed when I got in the car, it drove more similar to some of my buddies' M's. It wasn't as aggressive, but it was more aggressive than what Audi usually puts out for RS cars. The gearbox, the hard shifts, I was like, oh, this might be the car. So then I go through and I look up, what can I do to this? And I saw that there was already a stage 3 available. Wow, stage 3 already? Stage 3 already. Nice. So that's what made me want to buy the car, because I buy cars based on how much can I mod you, how much of my money are you getting. But I just love the way mods transform a car so that you can personalize it to your own likeness, whether it's aesthetics, whether it's performance. And I try to do a little bit of both. I'm really on that OEM plus. I love the OEM look, so if I can get anything that'll upgrade the car in an OEM perspective, I'll do that. This car came carbon optics. I did put some carbon pieces on here. Some are aftermarket, but some are OEM. So I love the way that looks as well.
Okay. So what can you say in your perspective about like the ride, the comfort? Because there are a lot of different opinions on the RS5 in terms of like, is it a comfortable daily? Is it a little too harsh? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Like, what is your take? Obviously yours is not stock with the exhaust, and obviously it's louder than a stock RS5, but comfort wise, what would you say about this car as a daily?
As a daily, I would say, as long as you're not making, you know, long commutes,
okay,
it's not too bad. I've always had a job where I'm, you know, within 20 minutes of my house. I've never wanted to have a job where I was any further. So the commute isn't that bad to me. We did get a chance to take us on a long ride. We went to the racetrack a couple months back, and I got some really good seat time. Got 8 hours worth of driving on this car. I will say that's a bit much, especially with
too much.
The suspension, and the main thing is kind of the exhaust, because you're going, you know, you're down the highway doing 80, so all those things at one time, it could be a bit much. If this was a stock car, I'd say phenomenal. Nothing wrong with doing the daily thing, but yeah, I love that sound.
Yeah, it's nice.
I love that sound.
And we're in comfort too. We're not even in dynamic mode yet.
Right, and I'm pretty much driving comfort most of the time. Once you put it in dynamic and it's got all the pops and burbles, I have to be in the mood for that.
Yeah.
At one point this was catless, but that was a little bit too much. I would say that was not a bearable daily driver, so I went back to the catted down pipes.
So when you got this car, was it fully stock or was it already like partially modified?
This car was bone stock.
Bone stock, okay. Very nice. I mean, so far with my impressions, it actually feels really good to me so far. We obviously haven't tried any like stiff roads yet. They're very smooth here, pothole free. There's you know, no bumps, no change. It's a very smooth road here. It does feel a little bit stiffer than your usual car, but it feels, you know, in this kind of condition, like it feels absolutely fine to me. I do like the steering wheel a lot. I think it's what a big upgrade over the regular steering wheel that Audi gives you, because in the older Audis you could actually get a flat bottom steering wheel. Now in the newer RS5s, they all come from out of the box round wheel, so you can't really get anything cool. It's like the same wheel that the S5 has, the same wheel that the Q5 has. It's the same thing, and we'll see how the ride is once we get on the freeway. Right now we'll see how it rides on the freeway. But so far, you know, the noise, I can't really hear too much because I'm not pushing it. You can hear a little bit of like a burble down below, but it's very hushed.
That's what I like.
Yeah, it's not too loud when you're driving smoothly. But I mean, obviously I feel like once we get onto like a bigger speed where the RPMs are above 2,000, it's going to be more noticeable.
Yes, she is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, and you know, the look, the aesthetics, I like how comfy the seats here are. You know, they're sporty. The thing with these seats, personally, I had a S5 myself, 2021, and while these seats are great for like sporty driving, they hug you really well. I really couldn't drive too much past 2 hours in these seats because they go right under your armpits, and they kind of crash your armpits, and it becomes very fatiguing over an extended period of time. So that was my only gripe with, you know, with the seats in the Audi.
I do agree. What I do like though on the longer rides,
you have the massage, right?
Massage.
Yeah.
I kick the heat on, turn the seat on, turn the massage on, do that for about half an hour. And then I usually do that before I hit a pit stop, and then stretch, get back in, do it again, and then hopefully that'll kind of make my back a little better. Yeah,
definitely pit stops are a must on this car. You know, speaking from experience, like I said, in my S5, I definitely had to make some breaks when I was driving. That's one more thing. Also, the other thing that I've noticed with Audi products is that the pedals here are same across the board. So whether you're getting an S5, an A5, a Volkswagen, all of the pedals are the same. So, you know, the wipers also are very similar. You know, it's the same part spin. So, you know, for some people that's great because they're very used to this kind of style. They like the product. And then for some people who are paying, you know, almost $100,000 for a car, they want to kind of, you know, have something different, I guess. But that's, again, to each their own. There's no right or wrong answer to this. But let's actually go into dynamic and see if that makes things a little bit louder. We're about to go on the freeway right now. Luckily, there's usually a good amount of space so we can actually feel the car more. I like the burbles. They're really nice. It's very effortless on the power, like very effortless on the power.
She's just waiting to be unwound.
Yeah, I maybe pressed what 10-20% on the throttle maybe, and it was already just you know, going. There's a little bit, it thinks for like a second and then it goes. So what's your best 0 to 60 in a quarter mile time on this RS5?
Best quarter mile time is 11.02. That was running 85. It's tuned to 93 right now. 85 and that 0 to 60 time was 3.1.
Wow, that's impressive.
And I'm still working to get that down, because actually the record for a RS5 stock turbos running 85, I believe, is a 10.7.
Wow, that's impressive.
10.7.
That's a fast car.
Yep.
That's a fast car.
2.9. So I got a lot of work to do, but thankfully the folks at 030 for Motorsports have made that better. There's supposed to be a new download for the tune that will let me select some launch modes.
Oh, so you've tried like the launch control in this car, everything?
I have.
Okay.
It needed work, so hopefully when I download the new revision, I'll have to see how that works. From what I've heard, there's like a preset RPM you can get to.
Okay. And what do you usually launch it at? Well, let's give it some gas. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. No, that is a powerful car, I gotta tell you. It definitely pushes you right in. But on the freeway, it's much stiffer. Like it's much choppier, as you said.
Yes.
You know, going 80, you're kind of like jumping over every little imperfection.
Correct.
Wow.
And I think from a lot of people on the forum that have the RS5s, you know, a couple of guys have commented, I feel it's the valving that Audi did on the DRC suspension.
This is DRC.
This is DRC.
Oh, this is the DRC. So actually, as I heard, the DRC is actually more comfortable than the non-DRCs.
Yeah, I've heard kind of both. So I've never driven one that doesn't have it.
Oh, no, the power, like the response, it's phenomenal.
Yes.
This is a huge upgrade over the stock RS5, like day and night difference over stock RS5.
If I'd have had the 85 in here, you would have really regretted it.
Really?
It pulls so much harder.
Because I've driven fast cars, like, you know, I've driven the Plaid, I've driven M's, like I've driven pretty much like a lot of Corvettes, Chargers, you know, the SRTs, everything, you know, but this is a properly fast car, not a joke. Like, this is a properly powerful car. You know, it's like when you put your gas into it, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Like, it builds up speed so effortlessly and you don't notice it.
Right.
Let's try comfort mode just to compare. I want to see if there's a difference. All right. I want to see if there's like any noticeable drone right now here. So in comfort mode, it is a little bit better. It's still choppy-ish, but it's a little softer than dynamic.
Yes. I always ride in comfort mode. I think
You ride in comfort mode?
I have it set, so if I go to individual mode, my individual mode is always set for everything dynamic except for suspension. It stays in comfort.
So we can hear the exhaust at about 2,000 RPM. That's where like I don't really hear much drone though. It's a very well balanced exhaust system that you got in this car. It's not loud or anything. Like, you can hear it, but it's not droning or, you know, making you feel unbearable.
Right.
I also have the heads-up display. I like how clear and easy it is to see the heads-up display here.
It's funny, this is my third Audi with heads-up display.
Third Audi?
I always look down. I can never catch myself looking directly at my speeder in front of me.
Nice.
I'm always looking at the speedometer, so.
Nice. Yeah, once we face our straightaway, there's gonna be like a little straightaway. We'll do like I call it the elasticity test, where I measure the 60 to 100 by the Dragy, just so we can get a sense of like how quick the roll. Like, we're not gonna go anywhere above that because, you know, just for legal purposes and safety purposes. But we will just see how elastic this engine is.
She's built to perform.
I mean, of course, yeah. Let's see if we have our Dragy here. Yep, we got our Dragy. All right, there's nobody behind us. Let's go to dynamic. All right, we're gonna reset the Dragy. Seems like a perfect straightaway. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Wow, wow, incredible. So we did a 4.38. That is fast. That is very fast, verified. So it's yeah, perfect slope. Very impressive. So it's definitely moves.
What do you typically see with those?
Stock would be over 5. Stock would right now with 2 people on this road would definitely be in the 5s on the 62 to 100 test that I do. And you know, we did have like the optimal gear. It kicked into the 3rd gear right away, so you know it was perfect. I like how it just knows what gear I want to be in. But the one thing that I also notice is like how it likes to jump. Yeah. Like every imperfection, we're like hopping like this.
Yeah. I actually want to. That's something I'll probably rip this out.
You what?
I'll probably rip this out.
Yeah.
And go for a KW V3 or V4.
A BMW motorcycle. Those are, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is cool.
Uneven pavement, you will.
Oh yeah, no, like I can't imagine you having to go like for 4 hours like this. It's definitely not a long trip car. Definitely like a daily, like a daily to get to work, back, take it on the weekend for fun.
Right.
But we're gonna take the Hunterstown exit. That's what we'll do our Dragy 0 to 60 test. Oh, there's a cop right there, and that's a cop right there. Oh yeah, is that a cop?
SUV maybe?
No, that's just a regular SUV. Dang, that kind of fooled me for a sec. Woo! Woo! Yeah, she moves. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, let's go back to comfort for now.
You can see those kidneys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so the comfort is definitely a little bit more bearable. But the power is phenomenal. It's very torquey. It's got great response. I like it.
I do like it. I think I catch myself comparing my Stage 3 S6 to this a little bit too much. And that had so much torque, it was just it was crazy.
I mean, this probably does have the better handling though, out of the two.
Yes.
The weight difference, you know, balance.
Right, you're not trying to throw 4,400 pounds into the turn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the S6 has definitely got a very potent engine to it, but I feel like it may be a little bit too beefy to throw in the corners, you know, especially with this weight distribution and size, and it's just not meant for that kind of level, you know, of track use.
And I think that was one of the other things I actually forgot to mention when you asked about why the RS5.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, the second reason of RS5 is I wanted a coupe.
A coupe?
I have not owned a coupe since I was 18.
Uh-huh.
All my cars have been 4-doors.
Okay.
So I definitely wanted to see coupe, something a bit lighter, a little bit more sportier, so that I can, you know, get some suspension components on there, throw into some turns, maybe do a couple track days with it.
Great brakes, by the way. I really like the brakes here. They're instant, they're strong, the feedback is great.
I do like them. I do feel, compared to my RS4, that the 8 pistons that it had on there, these feel a little soft. When I upgraded the pads, rotors, and lines on the RS4, and when you would break anything below 10 miles an hour, everybody
it would shake you. All right, so we are about to get to our testing straightaway, so we can probably fit in like a 1/8. Obviously, we can't go the full quarter, you know, for safety purposes, but we can definitely fit in like a 1/8 mile, you know, once everybody passes. Let's go. All right, so we did 0 to 60 in 4.44 seconds. That's obviously no launch control or anything. 4.4 perfect slope, 0, 0, 0. 1/8 mile took 8.04, 93.5. We can also turn around and do one more 0 to 60 just from idle, and then we can try use the launch, but we're gonna probably try the launch mode on another surface so it has better traction, because here I feel like launch may not engage as well as, you know, as we want it to. But you know, it's perfectly valid. 8 second. Yeah.
That's what we don't have out where I live at, enough of straight
Yeah, yeah, we don't have enough straight roads, so we got to use what we've got. But let's turn around here once that car passes. We'll try one more from idle, and then we'll try the launch on a different road where it's safe to do so, and we have more space to do it.
If I had this many flat roads, I would 100% be.
Now this is not even the perfect place for flat roads. Like if we're talking flats, you got to go like my area, because there we have even more flats. Yeah, this seems like a good straight right now. Okay, no cars behind us. We're gonna reset the Dragy. 3, 2, 1, let's go. See, it thinks for a little bit and then it goes. Yeah, there we go. Very good. I mean, it moves. It definitely moves. So we did 0 to 60 in 4.45 seconds, 0.17 slope, and the 1/8 mile at 8.11 and 93.46. So consistent times. Do you want to just do like a launch control 0 to 60 without the 1/8 mile, just see how it is quick with launch? Yeah, let's do it on the way back. Let me just turn around real quick. Let's just try that, and then we will finish up with our, you know, testing. We don't want to, you know, like heat up the car or anything too much. There's no point in, you know, in giving it too abusing it. Yeah. I mean, if you're okay with us trying it out, I mean, let's do it. I mean, I'm down. I mean, this is probably a big difference right now.
When I took my SQ, I had an SQ5.
Oh, you had an SQ, wow.
Stage 2,
Wow.
E40.
Okay.
And I hot lapped it 4 times.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
My best run on the 3rd.
Okay, ready? All right, hold this for me, will you? All right, ready? Yep. 3. Oh, that is crazy. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was. Ooh, that was crazy. Like the bangs that it gave on the shifts, yeah. And we already did 3.79.
Yeah.
We already took off almost a second off our time just with launch. Let's do one more try backwards, and then we'll wrap up the 0 to 60 test here. But that is really impressive. 3.79 with 2 people in the you know, it's a hot day. It's 83 degrees today. It's not like your winter boost weather.
Right.
And let's check the U-turn radius. Okay, U-turn radius. All right. Okay. Yeah, the tune definitely makes it much more aggressive, especially off a roll. Mm-hmm. Like not even off the line, but off the roll. That's where the real deal is here. All right, let's line up here and do one more test. Okay, this should be good. Okay, ready? All right. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ah! What do we got?
378.
378. Okay, so it's consistent. So it's consistent. It's, yeah, 378 again. With probably, if it was just you right now or me, we'd be at what, 3.5? Probably by yourself, like 3.5. Yeah, but that's very impressive because we have a little bit of an uphill slope too. Okay. So it's not like a perfect, you know, or you know how some people like to time their car like a little slope down, yes, to get those nicer numbers. This right here is like the place where you do like your most honest numbers that you can. So, you know, if we had a little nicer slope, one person in the car, better launch, probably 3.3, 3.4 would be doable, yeah, with even on 93. We're not even on, you know, E85, as you know, the biggest potential comes at E85. Yes. So we're about to head back, and we're going to be wrapping up the test drive soon once we get back on the highway. So do you usually keep your traction system on or off when you drive?
It really depends on how sporty I feel, because sometimes I want the action to kick out a little bit. Yeah. Some of the turns, so I usually turn it off. But if I'm just driving around, it stays off.
Okay. See, there's like a, what is that? An RS Ford Focus RS behind us, or ST? I think ST. Yeah. It's ST. Yeah, it looks like an ST to me. I think it is an ST. Okay. All right. All right, heading back now. I also like the way this RS5 handles. Oh yeah, the Focus is going behind us. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what he wants to do. Oh look, he's gonna come try and catch us. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think, unless he's like stage 3, there's no way you can do anything. Oh, yeah. He's got to be like fully gutted, you know, fully souped up.
Stage 3, he probably needs to do a 60-year-old because he spins too much.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so driving here back on the freeway to summarize the test drive. I appreciate you for letting me drive your beautiful RS5. It's truly an incredible machine, especially with your modifications. Like it puts a smile on my face so much more than any stock RS5 ever could. Like, the power is incredible. I love how it drives, and the exhaust is actually perfect in this car. It's not too loud, it's the perfect balance, it's the perfect pitch, you know, it's not droning in your ear. And what kind of exhaust is this again, if you don't mind mentioning?
It's a AWE touring non-res catback.
Okay.
034 catted downpipes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because the viewers will probably be asking me like, what kind of exhaust is this, etc., etc. Yeah, what kind of wheel is this also?
These are BC forged RZ10 20x10 ET20s.
Oh, I do.
And they're wrapped in 285/30 Michelin polished super sports.
I mean, also the steering wheel. Like, what brand is this of the steering wheel?
This is a Ask Carbon steering wheel.
Okay. How much did that run you to get?
This one ran me about 1,500.
That's not bad.
Not too bad.
I love the pops and crackles.
That's how you pull up to every car meet.
Your neighbors must hate you.
I try not to pop when I'm in the neighborhood because I have to deal with my cold starts. So.
Oh, this is awesome. You know, this is way cooler than any stock RS5 ever could be. Like day and night. Like, there's no way a stock RS5 can bring this much joy. Seriously, and this feels like a rocket. You know, like, especially at speed. Regular off the line, it's much harder to tell. But once you go in like 60, 70, you punch this. That's where you really feel a difference between a stock and tune. That's where like the power difference is really noticeable. All right, yeah, let's go back to comfort now, and we will wrap up the test drive. Well, thank you so much for watching today. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Give a follow to Sinister RS5.
Yes, and thank you for having me on the channel.
Oh no, I appreciate you for making this possible. All thanks to you. And till next time.